Hi there, thank you so much for clicking the thumbnail and being interested in what this content might hold. Well, what I'll be doing is discussing the 9 value system. I've done some research on Google and apparently the human eye sees 1 million colour tones, so as artists we have to simplify that down to 9 values, 7 values or 5 values. In this video I'll be showing you my favourite one, which is the 9 value system. Also in this video I'll be looking at colour theory regarding warm colours and cold colours. So I'm sharing my knowledge with that, so be sure to watch it till the end. So let's dive in and take a look and experiment and explore together. Because I'm drawing this at an angle, it won't look the same shape as the actual image, but it is the same shape, it's just that it's an optical illusion with the perspective of the easel, so bear with me on that. So the colours I'm using are 2 yellows, 2 reds, 2 greens and white. So first of all, just blocking in really, just putting plenty of pigment down, so when you actually start putting the white on it, it starts to have a rich feel about it. Just putting a few darks in now, just so it gives me an idea between a dark and light. Just putting a few dark accents in there. I'm just filling in now with white, so just basically just getting that sort of tonal value, just referring to the actual grid there and also the image, what I'm working from, and just sort of squinting the eyes so you actually can see which tonal value is in which area. Using brown and blue for the shadow of the apple. Just trying to get a few darks in now, so it helps me to see the values between bright light and dark shadow. So I'm putting the white of the background in now, because obviously there's reflected light onto the apple, so that needs to be taken into account. So just softening the edges with the apple as well, just making it so it sort of merges into the background a little bit. Now you notice there's a scale there, and that's the 9 value system scale, from 1 to 9. They've got 4 lights, 4 darks and 1 mid-tone, and what I'm doing is just checking on the image and just making a judgment of which tone it is, and then putting it onto the card. Pastel for me is about mixing everything on the actual surface. I mean, it's very difficult to find a pencil which is the exact colour. You have to do something with it, either making it richer or lighter or whatever it is. So if it's too rich, you need to put the complementary colour, which will be green if it's a red, blue if it's orange, yellow with purple. So you have to add the complementary colour to lessen the vividness of it, and leaving the parts that are vivid. I mean, to make that red really vivid, I've had to put a lemon yellow into it, mix that with it, it makes it more vibrant. Also, what I've had to do with the red is actually add a warm red and a cold red. Now sometimes it's quite difficult to actually see the different variations in tones, So it really suggests squinting. It does make a difference. Keep comparing one shade with the other on the image. It might even be a yellow, a greeny colour that looks the same sort of value. It's a case of actually forgetting its colour for a moment and just see it as a tone. So it's more or less squinting your eyes and just seeing it as a tone. The more you do it, the more you'll know what I'm talking about. It's very hard to explain, but you have to sort of go beyond colour. Just see it as shades, different tones. And then you look at the richness of the colour. So you're flipping between the two. You're looking at it as values and tones, like squinting your eyes, then open your eyes to see the colour. So it's like switching from one to the other, because the more you open your eyes, the more colour you'll see. The more you close your eyes, the more tonal value you'll see. It's a strange, but it's just something you've got to experience, and then you'll know what I'm on about. Colours. You've got 2 reds, 1 cold, 1 warm, 2 yellows, 1 warm, 1 cold, 2 blues, 1 warm, 1 cold, and then some earth colours. Now that made a massive difference. And also, when you think of the light as a warm light coming from one side of the apple, it casts like a colder shadow. So for me to actually make the shadow colour of this apple, I used a dark green, which was a cold green, and a cold red. A dark cold red. You can see me using it there, which is a similar colour to Elysium Crimson. If you're an oil painting artist or watercolour, you'll be familiar with that colour. Basically, you just got to keep adding those layers on to get the right shades. Working on the whole of the apple at the same time, just to keep moving around different areas. When you can feel the need to do it, you just go for it. Again, it's a little bit vivid, so I'll just add a bit of green to certain areas of that. Those little spots, you put the white in first, then just glaze over with some dust of a colour. So it's just a case of experimenting and trying these things. It's amazing what that green does though, it just makes it subtle. Rather than using black for the shadow, if you use the complementary colour, it just keeps it a clean, fresh shadow of it. One thing to bear in mind as well is that you never have the lightest dark the same as the darkest light. So always keep your darks dark and your lights light, and your mid-tone. So you're being aware of that, because there's a tendency when you first start to draw is that in the lightness, like you got a reflected light in that shadow, you make it too light and it looks like a tone on the light, and then it looks flat. So just be aware, I'll say again, the lightest dark should never be the same as the darkest light, and just keep your mid-tone separate. Now these final details makes all the difference, because what you're doing is actually not only getting the values correct, but you're getting the actual edges correct. Now the edges, there's 4 different types of edges. There's a hard edge, a firm edge, a soft edge, and a lost edge. I will be bringing out a video discussing this. Let me know if you feel that that would be value to you. leave a message in the comments, see what you think. Just tell me what you think to this video as well. Do you think it's okay? Have I forgot to do something? Is there something I can improve on? So it's all new to me, this is all the new tech and everything, so it's a big learning curve for me, so I appreciate the you know, the constructive criticism, and that's the only way you grow, isn't it, really? What I'm doing with these little specks of light as well is using the Caran pencils, which are very rich, and choosing a colour which is similar, and then just going over then with a bit of yellow or red just to change it a little bit, or a bit of green with it. I've not used much blue really at all in this, because it's just, there's no need for it, there's no orange, so it's just a matter of just the red and the green, and a little bit of purple if I'm doing anything on the yellowish side. So for the shadow there, I'm just using a bit of yellow and purple, also the grey as well, just mixing all sorts of different colours really to get that feel right. Just a matter of playing about with it really, see what works. And these little final touches here, just making things sharper, what needs to be sharper, then just blurring off the sides, what needs to be blurred, which is a soft edge, and putting a firm edge where I want the eye to go. So I mean, I want the eye to go straight to that sort of where the actual stem goes into the apple, and then it spreads out from there. I've added a still shot of this so you can see the shape of the apple is actually the same shape as what I've been drawing, so you can get a better idea, and it's a better reproduction because I've used my Nikon camera with this, so it gives you a better idea of how it turned out. Hope you enjoyed the video. So just to recap on things, is to squint the eyes to see the tones, and then open them to see the colour. So you're flipping from one to the other. Another important thing is to never have the lightest dark the same as the darkest light. So always keep your lights and your darks separate. Remember, with a 9 value scale, you've got 1 midtone, 4 lights and 4 darks. Thank you very much. So pleased that you watched it this far. If you've got this far, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bye bye.